Hello and welcome. I feel like I always say this every week, but wow, this week went by really fast. And so, hopefully, if you're catching this now live or if you're catching this in the replay, you've had a wonderful week. So, if you are hoping to receive a little bit of an energetic detox with Reiki for grounding, protection, and clarity, you're at the right place. And how do you know if you need those things? How do you know if this is even something that, do I need to be grounded? Do I need that protection? What do I need clarity for? So I have a few questions for you. Have you been feeling a little off, just not like yourself? Have you been feeling too much in your head, just flooded with worry thoughts? Have you been feeling too much head in the clouds? That one's normally me. Dreaming and planning, but without kind of like focus and direction, without that clear path to start putting things together. Have you been feeling antsy or agitated or irritated and not really sure why? Feeling maybe like tense, stressed, just feeling constricted. Or if you know that you've been absorbing other people's negative energy, or other people's negative energy has been impacting you in an emotional way, then this is probably the Reiki session for you. So today I'm going to be sending distance Reiki to you energetically, so we can detox. We're going to focus on the root chakra, which is located just at the tailbone. With your permission, of course. But today we're going to just heal that. We're going to open and expand if we need to. We're going to hopefully release any stuck or stagnant energy so you feel more like yourself. You feel more, well, energetically ready to take on the day. So, hello again. If you haven't met me or we haven't met in the past, my name is Mary. I'm a holistic therapist. Wow, for over 25 years, and over the last probably 8 or 9 years, I started integrating healing energy, which is Reiki and shamanic, nature-based healing as well, and then also intuitive guidance into the work that I do with my clients. This has been something that has been transformative in my own life, and I want to share it with clients. So, hello if we have not met. But if you said yes to any of those questions, just know that this is the place for you today, and you could probably benefit from something called grounding. So, grounding probably can be defined in a lot of different ways. But for me, grounding is that process of returning back within. We start to pay attention to what our body is telling us instead of being so focused on the thoughts in the mind. So, this can help us for obviously a bunch of reasons, but we start to become mindful of the present. We are physically here. We're back in the moment. So, our thoughts might be thinking about something in the past or something in the future. It's not allowing us to be actually present for ourselves in this moment. So that's good for a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons is it helps us become aware of those thoughts, our emotions, any sensations within the body, anything that is like giving us information about how we're doing, where we're at. And why is that a good thing? So you can mindfully take different steps, create different action, behave in a way that's supportive of your needs. So I think a lot of times we sort of negate our needs, we sort of negate the things that we might probably already know is good for us, good for managing either our emotional health, mental health, physical health. We sort of negate that and feed into the worry thoughts. And that it keeps us distracted and it keeps us from meeting those goals. So, if you've noticed, yeah, I kind of fall into some of those buckets, we can start working on opening and expanding that root chakra, clearing away any stagnant or stuck energy. And when we do that, we can start returning to feeling balanced and harmonious within ourselves. Then it extends out, right? So I have a few things that I just want to touch on real quick before we get started. So there's lots of different ways to ground, like I said, and today we're just going to be focusing on the root chakra to detox that energy that is in in that root chakra area. So, our root chakra is associated with our sense of stability, our sense of security, how safe we feel, not only in our inner world, but then also in our outer world. And when it is clear and balanced, when that root chakra is clear and balanced, we can easily just harmonize our energy. We harmonize our energy with nature, with earth specifically. So if you ever hear people talking about grounding to earth or grounding to nature, it's usually that to sort of stabilize ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally. So, when we start to release that energetic debris that's been clogging up our system, we can allow for the natural flow of universal life force energy, which can be ki, chi, prana. Lots of different areas have different names for it, but it's all kind of the same thing, universal life force energy, which is actually how Reiki, the two kanjis that make up the word Reiki, that's how they're literally translated. So, so this helps us to focus on, maybe not focus, but it raises our awareness for clarity for our next step, which we all want, right? And and just a reminder, we don't always need to know every step, all the steps to reach our goal. We just need to know what is that next right step for me, and then be able to take that action to feel really sure footed and feel safe to take that next step. And then we'll figure out the next step. So we don't get too overwhelmed when we start to think about all the other steps that are along the way before I reached my goal. That's too overwhelming. Let's not do that. Sometimes you can have a really clear goal with very clear steps. Like if you're baking a cake or if you're doing something, that is very step one, step two, step three, and that's fine. But when we're thinking about our life in areas of change or growth, sometimes it's really like we have to put it out there, try something, test out something else, get rid of something, add something in. So we may not know all of our steps at the beginning, and that's okay. I know that can be like challenging for some people, but it's a practice in flexibility and patience, that's for sure. So when we are mindfully aware of those thoughts and those feelings that we're experiencing in the moment, not only can we understand what is that next step, but we can also we can we can start to sort of pay attention to what has been holding us back from taking that next step. And sometimes it can be other people through their communication or their behavior. Maybe it's negative, maybe it's lower frequency, maybe it's something that's weighing us down. And so that can lead us to feeling even more out of sorts and unfocused. And so if we're able to recognize, like, oh, what am I feeling or what am I thinking and why? Why is this coming up for me now? Or why am I feeling this now? We're able to decide, we're able to put mindful choices into place for ourselves where we can decide, like, do I need to take a break from this person? Do I need to have a talk with this person? Do I need to just break the relationship completely and have some really healthy boundaries and not allow that person back in my life? It can be a variety of things. It could be just a little time out, or it could be like, this is the end of the road for us. But when we're able to do that, we can sort of protect our energy. So I'm going to be using a couple crystals today during Reiki, and one of them is my obsidian. I just have like a little sphere of obsidian, and this is the reason why we're doing the energy detoxing today. Some people have already heard this story this week, but I have it up on top of my desk. I have a shelf, and it rests on this teeny little stand. It's just a cute little thing. And this is one of the first crystals I ever purchased for myself. And I thought, because of the cute little stand, it was on my desk in my office. And I felt like clients wouldn't know, if they weren't into crystals, that I had this crystal. And I would meet with my clients, for therapy, and they would leave my office and I would hold on to the crystal. And I wanted to not only ground myself back into my energy, because obviously I'm very present with what they're talking about, what they're feeling, what they're experiencing. I wanted to get back to what I was feeling, what I was thinking, what I was experiencing. So I would hold the obsidian and just allow anything to wash away. It would give me a little bit of clarity also about what would be those next steps that I would want to work with the client on moving towards their goal, right? So this was one of my first crystals that I ever started working with, and it fell down for whatever reason. It fell off of my shelf and like landed on my desk, didn't break anything. That's a good thing, but kind of rolled into my lap. And I'm like, okay, we need to do a little bit of clearing maybe for the root chakra. So I'll be using obsidian. So this is a really gentle, I feel like it's a gentle but powerful grounding crystal. Just like I feel like Reiki is very gentle but very powerful. This can help if you have any tears in your energetic body. So we have our physical body and then we have our energetic body. And a few inches, few feet out, depending on what's going on, I suppose. But there is, just like we can get bodily nicks and scrapes, if we fall and scrape our knee or whatever, people that can inadvertently or maybe with intention, I don't know, can kind of nick at that. So maybe a hurtful comment, or maybe feeling disappointed in our performance, or maybe just feeling grief, right? So things can sort of nick and tear the energetic body. And this, so that's like the aura. So this really helps to just repair anything that's gotten snagged. And I don't even have to know, like, oh, it's right here. It just like the energy of Reiki has its own intelligence. The other thing that I like about obsidian is when I feel like my inner fire has sort of been dampened, it like gets me back like fired up. It kind of revitalizes my inner strength. So I really like that. But it also can be used to shield or reduce any like negative emotions, any negative frequencies that you'd be absorbing from other people. So I think that's really huge because if we're not really sure where stuff's coming from, we don't know how to protect against it, right? But if we have this, we can sort of just have this blanket protecting me. The other thing I like about this is it helps us to let go. So, things that we've been struggling with releasing, this is a really good crystal to have. The other crystal that we're going to be using, just because we're working with and so this is associated with the root chakra. The other one that we're going to use is hematite, and it comes in different forms. Sometimes it's polished. Um, Mine looks polished. It's kind of in a fun shape, I think. But so the hematite, this is also, I feel like, gentle but powerful. I feel like most of the crystals are. I feel like there's not a lot that are gentle and very whimsical. I don't know. And that's not necessarily true, but so this is a really good grounding crystal as well. And if you're feeling scattered or disconnected from the earth, scattered, like mentally scattered. So this one is really helpful for me because I get a lot of that ooh shiny. I get distracted very easily, and sometimes I have too much going on mentally that I can't figure out like where do I want to put my energy, and so that can be really depleting. So hematite is really good for helping us to get back to that stable grounding. It can also help us to balance our physical and our energetic bodies. So just making sure that they're sort of in sync. The other reason I kind of like this is that it allows us to stay grounded and balanced, so that we can open up the rest of our upper chakras. So we can pull in that energy and use it wherever we're needing it physically or energetically in the body. But then also, if I've like if I'm wanting to start on a project, I want like all of my chakras to be activated because each of them sort of serves a purpose and helps support that goal. So this one's kind of a cool, I think it's a cool crystal. So we're going to be using those. So normally I use, this is kind of funny. So normally I use a little bit of sage to do a smoke cleansing or a smoke clearing, just sort of to also activate that this is a sacred time. I have 3 lighters, which I went through our house to find 2 of them, but I have 3 lighters. None of them would work. All of them are on empty. So I couldn't light even the sage or a candle, which I normally do. And I was kind of laughing to myself. I thought it was sort of funny because that is that is the fire element, right? That is activating the fire element, and we can burn things away with fire. But right now we're in Gemini season, and we just had this new moon in Gemini, and it is the element of air. And wouldn't you know, yesterday and today we have had just the windiest days. And it's been really nice out. It's sunny and it's warm, but it's been super windy. So I was like, oh, of course, we have to work with the element of air. So we'll be just doing a little bit of breath work to help move that energy. And if you are new to this, again, if you're not familiar with this, no worries. There's nothing that you have to do in particular other than to be open to receiving. And you can set an intention if you'd like for what you'd like to receive. If it's just, I want to experience distance Reiki because I haven't before, that is totally fine. If it's something more specific, especially around the root chakra, you can set your intention for that. If you're like, my root's totally good, I do not need to energetically detox, you can set your intention around anything. And the Reiki, like I said, the Reiki energy sort of knows where it needs to go. I don't have to really force that or do too much to facilitate other than just be that conduit. So, that being said, before we get started, I always forget, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do that. It helps me. I'm trying to grow, and it's been a really slow process. If you enjoy the content, please consider liking it. If you really have something to say, definitely add a comment. That helps. I cannot figure out these algorithms, but apparently that really helps them. So it helps other people to find the videos, and it helps me to grow because it puts the channel out there a little bit more on YouTube. Okay, shameless plug. So thank you for that. So we're ready. I invite you to get comfortable. You can either be sitting up or laying down, whatever works for you. You don't have to worry about being able to physically see me. If it helps to close your eyes to relax, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm going to be doing that as well because it helps me to go within, and it helps me to focus on the energy a little bit more. So get comfortable. We're going to take a few breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, just really simple breath work. So just beginning to ground ourselves back to the body. Just beginning to release the day. Just being open to whatever comes, whatever experience you have. Norbert, my dog's in here, and I hear him waking up from his nap. It's tuning out anything that you might hear in your room, your home, or your space. And you can begin putting your attention on the root chakra. Again, it's located at the base of the spine. Honestly, when I'm working with it, I go all the way down the hips and the legs, the knees, the ankles, the feet. And because we're going to be using breath and intention today to move energy, if you have a practice of sending your grounding cords into the earth, go ahead and do that. If you have never done that before, just imagine in your mind's eye that you're sending roots or cords from your physical and energetic body through wherever you're sitting, the floor, the foundation, into the earth, and allowing those cords or roots to go all the way into the center of the earth, where Mother Earth is waiting. Gaia is ready to receive your cords, your roots. And through these cords, through these roots, we're going to be releasing anything that has been blocking, anything that's been stagnant, anything that's been stuck in the root chakra. We imagine in our mind's eye that we're releasing that energy down those cords. Mother Earth can transmute it. She can turn it into something else. She can fertilize a new beginning. But also from those roots or our grounding cords, we're going to drop energy from Mother Earth into our body so we can revitalize ourselves. Helps us to open and clear that root chakra. And if you haven't already, you can invite in any of your spirit guides, your Reiki guides, any animal allies, any ancestors or ascended masters, any archangels or goddesses, all for your highest good, all to support you in detoxing energetically. We're just moving towards that rebalancing, reharmonizing our body, our energy. And if you notice any worry thoughts come back up, just practice noticing them and then returning your focus back to your breath, back to your body, back to the new sensations you're feeling with Reiki. So I'm using a little bit of the obsidian. I can hear the wind still blowing. So we have nature with a fresh breath or a breeze to clear away anything that's stagnant or stuck. We can use that energy of nature. Just releasing, just beginning to soothe any of our fears, any of our blocks, whether they're conscious or unconscious. Being able to sense a new flexibility, being able to move with grace and ease with the ebb and flows of life. Allowing for that shedding process, any insecurities, any issues with lack and scarcity or safety, just allowing for that release. We're going to be replacing any of that with that growing desire for a healthy balance or return to balance if we haven't had it in a while. You have such inner strength, but fear and doubt can get in the way. It sort of diminishes our confidence in ourselves or our abilities. It can definitely cloud our thinking. feel like one of those little wind-up toys that just can't find a direction to go. Goes in one way, spins the other, goes in that way, spins the other. That frantic or frenzied energy, we just want to release that. That's not our natural state. And as you're releasing, just remember when you're taking in breaths, just be open to breathing in vitality, new strength, new stability, any sort of positive energy that would support you now. And again, you don't have to know the details yet. What will support me just today? So really, as we're opening, as we're cleansing and clearing, as we're balancing that root chakra, we're really trying to build that foundation for ourselves to thrive. Moving out of being frozen onto our path. I'm going to actually grab another chakra. I'm going to grab another crystal. I can barely reach it. I can't reach it. Well, I wanted to use a heart opener. So one that's next to me. Just sending yourself love and compassion anytime that you felt that you've missed your mark. In Soul Journey, we've been working with the goddess Artemis this week, goddess of the hunt, who lends you her focus. Quickly, let's just go up to the third eye. We're going to do the third eye and the crown. And these are all-purpose amethyst. Bringing clarity, bringing protection, bringing connection. Anything that's been blocking you or creating resistance for those things. Just releasing it all. And this allows that flow of energy down from our crown to our root, and then we're drawing that energy back up from the roots to flow to wherever it needs to go within our energetic bodies, our physical bodies, our emotional bodies. Don't forget to breathe. We're using our breath to move that energy. Just feeling that root strengthening, growing in vitality. Releasing. And just allow these affirmations to settle into your energetic body. I am learning to find safety within my body. This might be a new practice for you, or it might be a practice that you've had for years, and today you're just receiving that gentle reminder. I'm beginning to open to loving myself unconditionally. Love and compassion is definitely a heart opener, but it softens and supports the root so well. I'm beginning to sense or know or feel that I belong here, now, at this time, in this body, in this world. Reaffirming for yourself that you have the ability to ground yourself, to balance yourself, so that you can see again your sense of purpose. Reconnect back to the meaning of your life. Keep releasing with breath. Able to tap into the vitality and abundance that's available in this universe. To reduce and quiet any programming about scarcity or lack. And today we give ourselves that permission just to return or open to returning to calm, to balanced, to centered, to grounded. And I'm just going to seal that in really quick. And you can keep those cords, those roots connected to earth. If you're needing more of her support today, you never have to disconnect from that. Never. I'm sealing with just a little bit of sound. It's loud. It's loud when it's so quiet otherwise. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully it was something that's going to help you to energetically detox, to cleanse and clear anything that's in that root chakra, to open up to whatever your next step is along your path. And of course, if you're needing more support, you can always reach out to me. We can work together one-on-one or within the Soul Journey membership. Or if you're on Insight Timer, I have my Sacred Circle this Sunday, the 9th. I have to think about that, June 9th. And we are actually going to be working on dreaming our new beginning into life, because we just had this new moon in Gemini, all about new beginnings, all about trying to find just that maybe focus, but finding how am I going to communicate that? How am I going to express that? How am I going to tap into that energy so it feels supporting, so it feels like it's bringing me into the world in exactly the way that I want? And I just feel like this is going to be a fabulous time if anyone's trying to set new goals for themselves, new intentions, trying to manifest or bring in, receive anything new. this is the time to do it. And if you missed the new moon yesterday, it's okay. This energy is still here. And actually, anytime that you want to bring in new, fresh energy, you can always set that intention. You don't have to wait just for the new moon. It's helpful for me because I always have something on my calendar of a time to reflect. What do I want to release? What hasn't been working for me with the full moon? And then with the new moon, what do I want to start? Or what do I want to, an area that I want to maybe recalibrate, start fresh? So it's nice for me to work with that. It's also kind of taking goals into smaller bites because I'm just going 30 days at a time, just a lunation. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and hopefully we can connect again. If you watch this later and have any questions or any comments, any feedback, please feel free to put it into the comments section. Again, it helps me. It helps me to grow, and I like to connect to people. And if you have questions, hopefully, I have the answer. If I don't, I will look it up or I will point you in the direction of someone that can help you. All right. So, wishing you the best. Take care.